Ken Trahan with managing partner Dan Newman of the New Orleans VooDoo. Dan, it's a big day for you today, a change in leadership across the board, and I know you're happy with both of the moves that you all have made.
We were able to talk Brandon Rizzuto into coming back. As you know, you introduced me to him originally, and he became the Director of Media Relations. Left to get that master's degree at UNO, and Doug Harrington and I were able to talk him into coming back, becoming a part of the ownership group, and running this organization. His official title is GM, and we are happy to have him. And of course, the second edition is really going to make a difference to local fans. And Dean Kokinos is the new VooDoo head coach. A lot of success in the Arena Football League, a championship, and a big commitment to bring that type of football back to the Smoothie King Center.
It's addressing Dean first. What do you see in his characteristics, his qualities that he brings to the table that might have been lacking that you can use here?
The Arena Football League player pool is never been there's never been a quality of athleticism or football potential there. There are 11 players now that are former VooDoo players that are in the Canadian Football League and the NFL. So it's an unofficial breeding ground for that type of player. It's a great place for them to start their careers. However, things are different today than when you and I were in school, and players think different. And Dean comes from that old school where you work hard. You're disciplined all the time, 24/7, and it all plays out when you go out on the football field in the arena to play a game. And so he knows how to recruit players. He was on the Tennessee Titan personnel staff. He knows everybody in the NFL, everybody in the Canadian Football League, college coaches everywhere. So he's going to bring new players into this market, into our organization that have a lot of potential. But once they get here, they're going to learn not just how to play football a little better, but learn how to be men. And I think we've needed that. Dean is definitely successful at adding that piece to it. We're going to do well on the field.
One of the things you addressed was local input and how it's been lacking to a degree, and that's one of the obvious reasons that you chose Brandon Rizzuto for the position you've chosen him for. How important is it to be invested in the community and have people here on a 365 basis?
Well, you know, people that are listening to this and watching this now, they know already what I'm about to say. People that aren't from South Louisiana don't understand it. I grew up in Franklin and Lafayette, moved away to go to college and got married. I don't live here in New Orleans. I'm here a bunch. People that live here want to do business and work with people that live here. And having local ownership in this organization has been a prime target, a prime objective for my other partner, Doug Harrington, and I for the last 3 years. And Brandon just fills that role. You know, a Rummel guy, a UNO guy, born and raised New Orleans, and he knows everybody and everybody knows him. He knows all about culture, all about the corporate structure in the city. He knows fans, something that I can't say that I do. And Doug Harrington can't say that he does, just because we don't live here. And it's not being stupid, it's just you don't know. We're not here. So having Brandon is something that we think is a missing link in the management of our organization and the ownership of our organization. And you know how it is. When somebody's got a vested interest in something, they're going to work a little harder. They're going to give that 13th donut in that baker's dozen to make things work better, come together better, and Brandon brings that element to us that we just not have had.
From the standpoint of selling the product to the fans, marketing, obviously that's something that has to be stepped up. Winning sells itself. That hasn't happened. So the two things that are essential really haven't happened. What can you tell the fans about addressing that and making it right?
Well, a couple of things. This is not a typical professional sports market. For an NFL team and an NBA team and a AAA baseball team to exist in a market this size, there's just not enough dollars for marketing to go around to where they can equally compete against other AFL markets. We're not a Philadelphia. We're not a Pittsburgh. We're not a Los Angeles. We're not even in Orlando or a Tampa. That being said, we can get our share. We can. The way we get our share is to put a winning product on the field and in the city. We've started that here today in our organization on the football field. Dean Kokinos is going to have players here that are winners. And, you know, I remember the 2008 Arena Bowl and then the New Orleans Arena. It was a sellout. There were 17,000 people there. The VooDoo teams throughout the 2000s. Only had a playoff team 1 year, the first season it was here. After that, the city supported it, but it was because they were involved. They were owned locally. People understood the culture and what the people of New Orleans wanted. All of that together is going to interpret into not just wins on the field, but wins in the community. And I think we started that whole process today.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ken.